Hey everybubbles. So yeah, this is the thing. Yeah. I know. It's like a million times. It's been a whole saga. I know that like y'all are probably tired. You're probably like, just review games and give us Steam keys. Well, I'll say up front, keep your eyes open over this weekend. I will be giving away a whole bunch of Steam keys. Keep your eyes open for that. Actually, you know what? I think I'll split it into like 5 different videos because I've got a bunch of Steam keys to give away, and I don't want them to all go to the same person necessarily. I'd like to spread the love. And so, like, yeah, we're gonna do that. Like, I'll spread it out. Like, I'll do some this weekend and do some over the course of the next week. Just spreading it out, helping people feel the love and know that like your contributions to this channel are appreciated. In the meantime, I am on my other setup. My classroom setup. Well, I still have a classroom to have. Boom, just got my enchantment table. Over here, I've got my. Here is my awesomely amazing incinerator. Always smiling, looking happy. See, incinerator. This is how you build it, by the way. Block, switch, redstone torch, repeater, loop, interruption, and this constantly interrupts, which makes it keep running the loop back and makes the repeater repeat. And then hopper, dropper. Oh, there's stuff in there. Chest on top, and then glass up front to block it from shooting it anywhere but straight into the lava. So yeah, it do be like how it is. You know what? I've been let's turn some sounds on because I've had the sounds off for a minute, so we're gonna turn it back on. Anyway, I'm just gonna tell you what's been up with me and whatnot. Like, for those who don't know, my day job, it currently and soon to be not anymore, is that I'm a teacher and a damn good one. Like, I'll tell you that up front. Like, I'm good at what I do. I know a lot of things. And I'm good at building relationships with students. My students are already very sad that I'm going to be leaving them, because I'm going to be leaving them. That's it. Like, all this stuff that I've been hemming and hawing over and like it's been eating me up inside is this. And this is what every educator is facing down right now. If you know a teacher, first of all, check up on them, make sure they're okay. Because, like, this is not a joke. This is not a lie. I'm not telling you things to be like, oh, I want lots of attention and whatnot. But, like, things that happened with my principal at this school literally made me suicidal. Like, I was imagining a world in which I was no longer a part of it, and quite frankly, it felt good. Felt right, felt like maybe that's how the world should be. I've always had fantastically low self-esteem, and it's been hard. It's been really, really hard. And I could go into all the details about how my principal's been a butt to me, which he has. He's been such a butt to me. And like, he expects me to just come back. Like, they just handed out contracts, which is fun because this is the part of the year you will never see principals be nicer to teachers than when the contracts are out but haven't been signed yet. Which, like, the fun thing when you're a teacher is that, like, technically you are year to year. They offer you a contract at the end of the year. If you're especially good, if you're like an amazing teacher, like someone who is a pillar of the school who they really, really want to have back, they'll offer you a 2-year contract. Can you imagine? Anyway, like, meanwhile, just get this, understand this. When my wife and I, oh shoot, I want to kill them glowy squids. Can I? Probably not. We go find out. Let me get over them. But when my wife and I came to this dinky little town, what we wanted was a place where we could lay down roots. We wanted to be a part of something. Oh, geez. We wanted to be. Oh, geez. I don't know if I'm gonna make it back to the surface. Oh God. No. 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 Oh, you see how close I was? Oh, I'm a complete idiot. Anyway, just lost everything I had. Oh, man. It's a good time. Anyway, someone's knocking at my door, but if they're really serious about knocking at my door, they'll knock on the other one, which is where I actually answer it if people knock. I don't answer this door. If they serious, then knock on the other one. Because I don't answer this one. Everybody knows that. Anyway. So, yeah, like, what was I talking about? Oh, good, my diamond pickaxe. I just made that. It's a fantastic waste of resources right now for me, but, like, I just, I'm still in the, like, cobblestone pickaxe phase of my mine because I don't have enough iron to really be throwing it around. Like, because I always wait until I have enough to build a full set of iron armor, and then I start using iron for the pickaxes and stuff. But I don't have, like, I'm almost to full suit of iron, but, like, the last 2 passes of my mining have produced absolutely zero, in terms of, yeah, this is not my normal skin. Like, now understand this. Like, I own an actual Minecraft account. Like, it was originally a Mojang account, but then Microsoft, big evil corporation. Just because a corporation's big doesn't necessarily make it evil. It's the evilness that makes it evil. Like, think about the last time you were really happy with Microsoft. Like, we ain't happy with it. We just take it because it's what we got. If we were all smart, we'd just use Linux forever. But Microsoft is trying to take over Linux too. They keep showing up at the consortium and, like, freaking, yeah. They're trying to impose themselves upon Linux. They would, buy it up and own it if they could. So they're just going to put their thumb on the scales of it like jerks. Anyway, Linux should be for the neckbeards. That's what it is. That's what it always should be. Anyway, so, as I was saying, when my lovely wife and I moved to this small town in Arizona, our plan was to stay forever. We wanted to put down roots. We wanted to become a part of a community. We wanted to become fixtures of that community. Oh, that's right. I remember what I was doing. I need to go get some sugar cane. Anyway, that's what we wanted. And, we wanted to come work for 35 years, same place, and then when we're done, come back as substitute teachers because they have a hard time getting subs here, quality ones anyway. And yeah, that was our plan. Now, you would think that a school district would be happy to have such people. Oh man, were you stupid thinking that they would be happy to have us? No, they ain't happy to have us. And no, they have not treated us with the kind of dignity and respect that we should be afforded. They just haven't. That's what it is. It's not a happy set of circumstances, but them as the circumstances. Because fact is, there's a little fox over there. What he say? Does he say hati 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 hoy? Yeah, it's been a minute, but like put that song back on. It still goes hard. Anyway, but like you would think that they would appreciate the willingness, and like for the last several plays for my drama class, I have written the plays and people have loved them, kids have loved them, and I've done a great job with it. Now, me tooting my own horn at all is unusual, but like that's what it is. I don't normally like to brag on myself like that, but like, you got to be honest about what it is. I've written 5 plays. I want to get them published because I think they can win awards and stuff. Like, I'm not joking. Like, that's legit. I'm a good writer. It's nothing for me to write, And this year, my principal made me feel like an idiot for writing a play instead of just choosing one. And then he made the process of choosing a play so bad, so like intolerably bad, that I literally, and I'm once again not joking, like literally considered killing myself rather than, going through with what he wants me to go through with. So like it's not good. It's not happy, fun, joy time. It is hard times for educators, because here's the thing, it's about to get political. My apologies to you if you are Republican. Like, look, understand this. I have been a registered Republican in my life. I have voted for Republicans in my life. Left the party after Bush, because like freaking Bush, he's a war criminal, like when we invaded Iraq, I was watching the news all the time, and not just news, but like, I watched a little Fox News back in those days, and I still, my roommate turned to me and was like, "Why are we invading Iraq? Don't we think bin Laden is in Afghanistan?" And I was like, "Yeah, he is in Afghanistan." And he's like, "Well, then why are we invading Iraq?" And I was like, because it's Bush, and Bush's invade Iraq. I don't know, keeping it in the family. Like, I have no freaking idea. But yeah, it's stupid, but that's what it was. But yeah, I left the party. But like, here's the thing. Most of my family is still extremely conservative. Most of my family still be watching that Fox News and whatnot. Most of my family voted for Trump. And so, like, I get it. Look, here's the thing. There's always going to be liberals. There's always going to be conservatives. And you got to accept that. And what else you got to accept? Like, when I was a little kid, it was the Reagan Dukakis, that dates me for sure. People are going to be like, "Oh, you are very old." But I was a child. Remember, I was a child for this story. So it wasn't like I was 27 during Reagan Dukakis. Maybe some of you were 27 during Reagan Dukakis, and if so, like, you're older than me, but whatever, I don't care. Anyway, but yeah, it was the Reagan Dukakis election, and they decided to have a mock election at my school. And like, my parents made it very clear that, people who vote for Reagan love America and want America to succeed, and people who vote for Dukakis hate America and are bad people and want to see America fail. And so, I get that in my head because that's what I've been told. And, as a child, you just sort of believe what you're told. And then my sister and I met two kids on the playground who were going to vote for Dukakis. And, like, we started bawling. We're like, we thought you guys were cool. And you hate America? You're basically terrorists and stuff? Like, oh my God, I can't believe that you want Iran to be in charge of America. Like, just the dumbest views possible. But, like, that's how we thought about it. So the dumb thing is that everything that has happened in American politics over the last several years, especially since Trump was in office, has been like a big push to make everybody have that, like, middle school me version of or elementary school probably jump version of politics, that, like, oh, if you're not on my team, then you hate America and want to see it destroyed. No. Like, there's always going to be liberals, there's always going to be conservatives, there's always going to be Republicans, there's always going to be Democrats. It's fine. Like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, yes, we have very different ideas about, what America should be doing and what it is that makes America a great country, but, like, we both want to see America succeed, and there are things that we can agree upon. When the national team plays in the Olympics, whatever national team it is, we want them to win a gold medal. Like, that's what it is. So, like, we're on the same freaking team. And I tell you what, if you watch Fox News, if you watch MSNBC, if you're watching that liberal propaganda or that right-wing propaganda, the Republican propaganda, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you get your propaganda. It's propaganda. And you need to recognize it as such and not take it so freaking seriously, because people are people, and, like, you've got to treat other people with dignity and respect. At the end of the day, when it all comes down, freaking other cliched sayings, but treat people with dignity and respect is what you should do, just on a basic level. I gotta turn this on so I can find my home. Anyway, so yeah, like, it's about to get political, but just know that, like, I don't hate Republicans. I don't hate, because if I did, then remember, I would have to be hating my own family and all the people I grew up with. And I don't. I do not hate my own family and all the people I grew up with. I am from a small, heavily Mormon town in Arizona. And, like, I currently live and work in a heavily Christian, like, we got more churches than we need. There's like 3,000 people in this town and 19 churches. That's too many churches. I'm sorry, that's way more churches than we need. Like, town I grew up in, like, we had 4, and that seemed to, suit everybody just fine. Anyway, so yeah, fact is that liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat, whatever. Like, I don't care. Just be nice. You know, just be nice. Just be good people. Just be good to each other. Um, but like, we lost that. We have lost that. Literally and factually, we've reached a point where like an increasing number of Americans think that America would be better off if the other side just died. I don't know if you've seen that statistic, heard it, read about it, but like that's what it is. Like people are like, "Oh, they're not us. Well, they should, die." And that's so incredibly stupid. But yeah, like I've gotten in trouble for a few things over the years that I've been a teacher, and when it all boils down to it, like what I've gotten in trouble for has been not being Republican enough. And the Republican Party, like not the Republican people as much as the Republican Party, is literally waging war on education. Like that is the battleground of one of their most, hard fought culture war issues. And I think it's stupid. I grew up in a time when, were there teachers saying liberal things at my school? Yeah. Do we know who the teachers were who were saying them? Yeah, we did. And so what did the parents do? Well, the parents did this thing. I don't know if parents today have heard of it, but it's called parenting. you know, you can do it and like decide what your child gets to hear at home, and you get to set the precedent and be like, no, children, you may have heard this at school, but here's what it is. That is the right that every parent has. But speaking of parents' rights, everything in education has taken a turn toward parents' rights, away from students' rights, away from teachers' rights. Teachers don't have rights. Don't make me friggin' laugh. We don't have rights to anything. Rights, like we got nothing. As a teacher, you have a right to get sued increasingly more. You have a right to have parents up your butt about every little thing. And you have a right to have your life ruined by people who have not been in a classroom since a year that started with a 19, and they think that they know what goes on. They got no clue. They have no idea. No freaking idea. And so it's hard. It is so hard. They have made it basically impossible for people like me to continue to be an educator. Because like I care deeply about my students, and I care deeply about, like, here's what I feel my role is as an educator, especially because I teach dual enrollment classes. I teach college level classes. They get college credit and high school credit. I am employed by the college as well as the high school. So, like, it's a whole thing. But I'm gonna tell you this: I am so tired of what education has become, and I cannot do it anymore. And that hurts. That hurts bad. Like, I can't even explain to you how bad that hurts. It's awful. It's an awful, awful feeling. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Like, imagine whatever job you work right now. Imagine someone who has almost nothing to do with it, making it impossible for you to continue to do your job. Imagine that, because that's the situation that I'm in. Because my principal is so up his own butt about any parent complaint that, like, if a parent comes to him about anything having to do with me, he automatically takes their side and automatically punishes me. And I can't freaking take it anymore. I literally cannot take it anymore. Yesterday, they handed me a piece of paper that would give me more money than I have ever gotten in my entire life, which I'm sad to say is $54,000. And I had to look long and hard at that piece of paper and think about, like, can I do this? Can I walk away from this? Can I withhold this from my family and still be okay? Because that's what it is. I'm taking food off the table for my kids if I don't sign this piece of paper. But you know what? If I do sign this piece of paper, number one, they're going to hold it over me for the entire next year. And, like, I'm going to be walking on eggshells just waiting for some student to misinterpret something that I say in class. And, I don't know if I've finished this thought, but my job as an educator is to introduce kids to ideas that they wouldn't get exposed to by their own choice. I have them, like, in my honors class, you're going to do things like you're going to read Gilgamesh, the oldest story ever written. I thought that was the Bible. Well, look, the oldest text that we have for the Bible is younger than the oldest text that we have for Gilgamesh by about 7,000 years. Or, the age of the earth, if you want to be a biblical literalist about it, which you shouldn't be, because there's no scientific support for such a position. Anyway, regardless, thing is, like, we read Gilgamesh, we watch Les Parapluies de Cherbourg, the Umbrellas of Cherbourg. It's one of the Frenchiest movies you can even imagine. Like, do yourself a favor, watch it. Watch The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. Because it is a movie it's a film unlike anything else that you have ever seen or will ever see. There are no spoken words in the entire film. Everything is sung. And it is entirely in French, and it deals with, like, the post-war era in France and, like, a sort of loss of innocence, and how this, like, there's an old style of love film that you would put together before the war, and after the war, that's gone. And people have to live in the real world and really think about, like, what's going to be the best for me in the long run. And I make my students learn about existentialism, and we talk about it, and we talk about life and death and what it means, and it gets heavy. And I don't mess around. I make my students read some heavy stuff, and I make them talk and think about the inevitability of their own death and what they want to feel and know and do before that time comes. And they're young. They are, high school age kids, and I'm making them think about death. But you know what? Like, that's what they should do. They need to be exposed to ideas, bright, shiny, interesting ideas that they never would have come to on their own. And it has been my pleasure to be the person to introduce those things to kids. This has been an absolute pleasure. But I can't do it anymore. And the reason I can't do it anymore is because Republicans are so up their own butt about this whole education culture war thing. And I mean the powers that be, that like it's created an atmosphere that is absolutely hostile to anyone. And by the way, like, I'm not super liberal or anything. Like, compared to where we're looking to move at the end of this year, we are actually wildly moderate, if anything, you know. But when you are not super hardcore, you know, flags of Trump riding a bald eagle and shooting machine guns on the back of, you know, hanging on the back of your truck, if you don't have that in a small town like this, then like you're the odd one out. And I have constantly been the odd one out in this town, and people do not hesitate to let me know it. You know, and I thought that I could just be a cheerful eccentric, that I could be, you know, an interesting odd fellow, who like teaches kids and brings ideas to them that they would not have had on their own. I thought I could be that guy. I thought I could be that guy forever. But I can't. They won't let me. They won't let me do it, because if I don't quit, they will fire me. You know, they will look for some bullcrappy reason, because people in this town do have it out for me. I do have a certain reputation in this town. And there is a video of me shouting at one of my students about trans rights because I sponsor the GSA here. Oh, do I not have any lapis yet? I don't think I have any lapis yet. Go through all... Oh, no, I've got lapis. Okay. But anyway, you know, and while I am deeply ashamed, efficiency 1, all right, whatever. While I am deeply ashamed of that video, and like, I made amends with that student. They and I are cool. They're in my homeroom. I've had them for 4 years now. They're set to graduate, and they got no ill will toward me at all, and I have none toward them. We are cool with each other 100%. But like, that doesn't matter. There are people in the community who have seen that video out of context, and they think that if you walk into my classroom, I'm just going to shout you down about trans rights. You know, which would be an awesome thing that if I did, but I don't. That's not what my class is, not what it ever has been. It's just a thing that happened one time because I'm a middle child, and so like, I feel it especially acutely when people don't listen to me, and people weren't listening to me, and I was like, yeah, we gotta solve this. Like, can't have people not listen to me on an issue that is so important to me, because I've got trans people in my family, you know, and I've got trans students that I care about very much. You know, I have a former student who just got bottom surgery, you know, major surgery, and they're still laid up, you know, and it's a major thing that they've gone through. And so for someone to be like, yeah, I don't think trans people exist, like, I got very offended. Like, I'm sorry, because I'm like, not only do trans people exist, they're serious about it. And my point was, like, even if they're completely delusional, like, let's imagine that they're delusional, that all trans people are faking it, and or like that they're imagining it, or that they have some mental issue. Well, here's the fun thing is that from a scientific point of view, we can't say what people are feeling inside. From a scientific point of view, we don't know for certain what someone is feeling inside because we have no ability to compare the subjective. Just none whatsoever. And so what it comes down to is results. You know, what is the result if we let trans people transition and if we treat them with dignity and respect? What is the result if we do that? Well, the result is that they are much happier. Much. And so, yeah, it is a very important thing to me that we treat these people with dignity and respect, because here's why I sponsor GSA. Here's why I give a crap about these kids. And I also teach the drama class, and so like I get all the delightful little queers in my class. Like if a kid, and you know that word has been reclaimed, and I mean like, you know, I've got kids who are non-binary and gender fluid and identify in a million different ways, you know. And so when I use queer, I'm using it in the correct term. It's like a umbrella catch-all, like, and all of these ones too. Hold up, I gotta bust the soda real quick because my throat's getting dry from all this talking I'm doing. But like, I get all of those kids, and I know their struggle. And I know how hard it is for them to constantly, because they are in a town where like you see more Trump flags than American flags. You know, it's just crazy like that. And you know, I came here eyes wide open, like, because I'm from a small closed-minded little community in Arizona. And by the way, I watched my small little closed-minded community in Arizona run a bunch of highly qualified, awesome teachers out of town because they didn't fit with the super uptight, like wildly hard-nosed conservative viewpoint. And it's like, you know what? Who cares? Like, not everyone has to be exactly like you. Like, we've got to work. Like, our nation will fall apart if we cannot find a way for people to look each other in the eye and say, hey, I know that you and I think differently, but I know that you mean well. And you are just as American as I am, and we can be neighbors, we can be friends. You know, my older brother was a Catholic priest. He's sadly passed away now. It's been almost 2 years. Almost 2 years to the day. Dang. That anniversary's coming right up. But yeah, it's been like 2 years since he passed away. But like, obviously, I am not uber conservative, but he was, you know. But, you know, actually, he never called himself a Republican. He called himself a Tory, because he identified more with the platform of the British conservatives than he did with the American conservatives. But that's because he was a very thoughtful man who didn't just jump to conclusions and didn't just judge people on, you know, prima facie, like, handed to you constructs of, like, these are the people who are the enemy. You know, if you have someone out there telling you who the enemy is, guess what? And this is absolutely some reductio ad Hitlerum. So, this is some significant fallacious speech that I'm about to engage in, but it doesn't, don't you be guilty of the fallacy of assuming that something is incorrect simply because there is a fallacy embedded within it. But like, uh, the way that Hitler got so much power so quickly is because he identified a common enemy for the people and said, hey, if you want to know why things aren't going the way that you think that they should, it's the fault of these people. And he pointed to a subsegment of their own countrymen. If you watch Fox News, then they point at liberals and Democrats and they say these people are the enemy. Not they think differently than we do. They are the enemy. They are not to be trusted. They are not acceptable. That's literally what you get. And you get the exact same thing about Republicans if you watch MSNBC. And how do I know this? Well, I watched both. Like, I have voted for both Republicans and Democrats in my lifetime. Both. And, I have seen both sides. I understand both sides. And what I will tell you is that neither side has all the answers. And quite frankly, if we can establish a system where neither side is too happy about what they're getting, where everybody has to compromise, it's probably going to work out for the best for our country. So we need to get past this era of partisan bickering, because you know what's fueling it? A big old dollar sign. MSNBC gets all their money by keeping their viewers afraid and angry. Fox News gets big old dollar signs because they keep their viewers afraid and angry. Look at the text messages that they were sending. Tucker Carlson did not believe Trump when Trump was like, yeah, we won the election in 2020. He didn't believe the big lie. He didn't believe it. He knew that it was false. But he also said, like, we can't lose out to Newsmax or OAN. We have to tell the people what they want to hear. We can't tell them the truth. And that's messed up. That is absolutely messed up. Because we should all have to work from the same set of facts. We may interpret the course of action differently, but we have to accept the same set of facts. We need to. This post-truth bullcrap, like, we got to get over that. We do. We just do. And so, like, if nothing else, let's learn to shake hands with our neighbors. Like, that's what we got to figure out. That's what we got to do. Because it is never going to work if we don't. We will fall apart. We will be the house divided against itself, which cannot stand. Literally, we got people talking about, like, we need a national divorce. No, we don't. We need national couples counseling. We need people to sit down, look each other in the eye, talk openly and honestly about their grievances, but also do that thing that you got to do in therapy where it's like, okay, say one nice thing about this person. Do it. Do it now. They are not the enemy. Recognize that. You see that, don't you? Like, we've got to do that. But anyway, like, my problem, even with all that, even with what I firmly believe about all that, like, I am being forced out because like all the trouble that I've ever been in, I'm about to be suspended again for a full week this time. This is my second suspension. I don't think that I would survive a third. And I don't mean survive like I would kill myself, although I was literally suicidal recently. And I'm not joking. I have an appointment with a shrink. Don't worry, I'm fine. I've got a good support system, a loving wife, two beautiful, amazing kids that I love deeply. And so, like, I'm gonna be okay. I've got a good support system. But, like, I can't keep doing this to myself. And that's what modern education has become. Like, if we can't figure this out, America already has a teacher crisis. Every state in the union, all across the country. Nobody wants to be a teacher anymore. Why? Well, we created this situation where unless, the rising generation figures out a way to make a whole lot of money, they will never be able to live indoors, you know? Like, the housing situation is stupid for them, and it sucks. And so nobody is choosing the humanities anymore. Nobody's choosing to be a teacher. And why would they? You know, historically it's paid crap. We're still running off of this assumption that teachers are basically, 19th century school marms, which we are not. But we pay teachers as if they were 19th century school marms. That is the pay scale that is set for teachers, and we just expect teachers to accept it. And we expect teachers to accept everything they get just because we feel that, like, well, you should. You're the one who went into education. No, I'm the one leaving education. I'm done. I cannot do it anymore. And it hurts to say that, because you know why teachers accept such crappy pay for so long and work such long freaking hours without billable overtime or anything of the sort? Like, do you have any idea why? Well, it's pretty simple. It's because we care so freaking much. We love our students so freaking much that we are willing to sacrifice our own happiness, our own mental health. We literally sacrifice our bodies, like, as we become, sedentary, just sitting at a desk, putting up lesson plans and figuring things out. Like, we endanger ourselves, our own mental and physical health, to teach the kids that we care about. And there is a war on, and the parents don't think that we're doing it right, when in fact we are literally willing to sacrifice ourselves to help their kids. Like, holy crap. It's insane. So I do not understand why we have gone the way we have, but we have. But, like, I'm gonna tell you, like, everything about this channel, everything about, like, me trying to get YouTube, like, I've been so horrifically depressed because of all the decisions that I've been having to make that I didn't want to make, I don't want to walk away from all this. I don't, but I have to, because if I stay another year, is a student going to misinterpret something I said, or are they going to, report to their parents that I said something that wasn't perfectly Republican enough? Yeah, probably they will. And if they do that, their parents will get angry, because angry parents have the most rights when it comes to education. like happy parents, you should hear some of the things that happy parents have told me personally. Now, they don't go say these things to the principal. They don't go say these things. They don't publish them in the goddamn newspaper or whatever. They say them to me personally and privately, because that's how you say things when you are sincerely complimenting someone. When you complain about someone, you make it public. When you compliment someone, you do it in the private. And that's the entire problem. You should hear the things that, especially my drama students' parents. You know, I've got drama kids who, like, they were so shy. They were so painfully shy. And then they take my class and I give them opportunities. I was a painfully shy kid growing up. Painfully shy. And, you know, give a kid an opportunity to get on stage and to really do something, show what they're made of. And you would be surprised to see the transformations of some of these kids who literally from night to day are transformed in front of your very eyes. I had a student, like, literally, and this was brought up in a meeting when the principal was questioning whether or not we should have a certain student in drama class because they might be too shy. And it wasn't me who brought this up, it was the counselor. He was like, no, you don't understand. Like, and then he named a kid, one of my students that I've had since he was a freshman. He's like, you know this kid? He's like, yeah. It was like, and the counselor said, I used to have to come and get this kid and bring him into my office every day because he would break down crying every single day. Uncontrollable sobbing, would not be able to stop. Emotionally could not handle school. And then he got in my class. And, you know, and I do this crazy thing where, you know, I make it a safe space for everybody. No matter who you are, no matter what you bring to the table, I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel accepted. I want you to feel heard. I want you to feel loved and cared about. And that's what I do, you know? And I've happily been doing it for the better part of a decade now. And I can't do it anymore. Do you understand how hard that is? And how ridiculous it is that I am put in this position at all? It's rough. It sucks. I hate it. But it is what it is. This is the state of things. We don't get to choose the game. We can only play the game that's there for us to play. And so, what do I choose? I choose to walk away. I've got years left on my odometer. I've got a lot of gas left in the tank. But you know what? I'm not self-destructive. I'm not going to come back and let them either fire me or drive me to suicide. I'm not doing it. Because I'm worth more than that. Me, with the lowest self-esteem of anybody you know, I'm worth more than that. And even I recognize it. So, we're going to move to a new town. And the new town we're moving to is way more liberal than I am. Like, this is a super liberal town. It is the bluest part of this state. But, like, it's where our favorite people live. Like, literally, our like, the family members that we are closest to. I got friends from college who live there. I've got, like, all the people that I'm closest to in this world live there. And so we are going to make a move to be happy. And so what's going to happen with this channel? Like, well, uploads might be sporadic for a while. But if you stick with me, I promise I'm gonna get back to normal content. And not just normal content, there are various ways in which I want to improve. But like, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all giving me a platform, giving me a place to say the things that I need to say, and to experience what I gotta experience and do what I gotta do. Like, I'm proud of my little channel and what it's been able to be. And if you are subscribed, know that you are an amazing part of that. If you be lurking, just know that I lurk on a lot of channels that I love, so you are still appreciated. Don't worry, I know how it goes. Sometimes you just don't want to commit. It is okay. It's fine. I get it. I do it too. Like, we all do. It's all right. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. And I appreciate the opportunities that I have had. And I'm going to make better opportunities for myself and for my family, because I cannot stay in a toxic environment where people are gunning for my job all the time. By the way, this state, they just put in a hotline where parents can complain directly to the Department of Education, the people who give us our teaching certificates. They can complain directly to the Department of Education and directly threaten our jobs. You think I want to stay for that? No. I ain't crazy, and I ain't stupid. I've got an advanced degree hanging on the wall right next to me. This says in big letters, "This guy is anything but stupid." So, we take what we've been given, we give it a good hard look, and we make the decisions that we got to make. And they handed me a piece of paper that said $54,000 on it, and I'm going to say no. And I'm going to leap into the unknown. I don't have a job lined up. I'm going to try to go back into libraries because I used to be a librarian. Shh. Don't tell nobody. I used to be a librarian. Shh. Nah. See how good at shushing people I am? Wicked good at it. But no, I'm a good librarian too. Like, you think I'm a good teacher? I am. I've done more years in libraries than I've done teaching, so like, I've got this. And my wife's got a job interview in the town that we want to move to. Like, she's already there, basically. So yeah, we ain't gonna stay. We ain't gonna stick around. And this town is going to lose two of its most dedicated teachers. And not just two of its most dedicated, but two who have given their everything to the most oppressed kids. Oh, here's a thought I didn't finish. You know why I stand up for the gay kids and the trans kids? Is because if a kid comes out of the closet and does not have support, they are 8 times more likely to commit suicide. If a kid, and 41% of trans kids attempt suicide in their lifetime. Anyway, that's the bell. I gotta go. But hey, you've been a delight. You guys are the very best. Be good, stay safe. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.